HOA Karen parked on my driveway every day, so I turned it into a locked sheep pen. Have you ever watched someone throw a tantrum because their own bad habit finally caught up to them? Because I have. And not just any tantrum, this was a full-on, red-faced, stomping, screaming breakdown delivered by none other than Karen Beauregard, self-elected president of our rogue HOA, and the woman who treated my private ranch like it was her personal convenience store parking lot. I live just outside the town limits on my family ranch in New Mexico. It's not fancy, but it's mine. A long gravel driveway winds up from the public road, past the sheep pasture, and toward my workshop and trailer. No HOA rules, no streetlights, just the mountains, mesquites, and my herd of Navajo Chuo sheep. That peace? It ended the day Karen moved into the new development across the road. Somehow, the first thing she did before she even finished unpacking was form a 3-person interim HOA committee and start passing out warning slips like she was deputized by the state. The problem started small. She'd park her beige Toyota SUV at the very edge of my driveway while she waited for deliveries or needed clearer reception. I'll let slide at first. We're neighbors. We try to be kind. But then she started parking in the driveway, not near it in the middle of it, right where I needed to pull my truck through to the pasture gate. Sometimes she left it there for hours. Once it was overnight. I confronted her. She smiled like I was a child, interrupting her book club. "It's just temporary," she said. "There's no curb space on our side. You got all this room." I pointed at my private property sign. "This isn't a parking lot. It's my land." She waved me off. "Well, maybe you shouldn't have left it open." Excuse me? The final straw came one morning when I found her SUV parked again right in front of my feed shed, blocking it completely. I had 30 bags of feed waiting for me to unload, and it was already 90 degrees. So I did what any rational person would do. I knocked on her door. She didn't answer, but a few minutes later, I got a handwritten note left under my windshield wiper. "As per our new HOA boundary proposal, your driveway is adjacent to the shared visibility buffer. Temporary vehicle presence is not a violation. Kindly cease complaints or risk fine." I stared at it. Then I laughed. Because here's twist number 1. My land isn't in her HOA, it never was. Karen had simply drawn up a fantasy map and assumed she could absorb neighboring land like some sort of petty warlord. So I did some research. Quietly. Carefully. And then I got to work. Over the next 2 weeks, I had a livestock fence company come out under the guise of pasture containment expansion. We worked fast-sunk new posts around the gravel turn-in, closed off the eastern access lane, and left a single, wide gate open in the middle right over the spot where Karen always parked. And on Thursday, like clockwork, she rolled up, parked her SUV in the exact spot, got out with her tablet, and strutted off toward her house. She didn't notice the gate, didn't notice the fence panels, didn't notice the latch on the side, until she returned. And by then, it was too late because I had filled the space with sheep. 35 of them. Docile, fluffy, slightly confused sheep who were now contentedly circling her SUV, sniffing the bumpers and nibbling bits of alfalfa hay I'd conveniently scattered around the wheels. Karen screeched, "What is this? What have you done to my car?" I walked out sipping sweet tea. "Sheep pen. I finally put the space to use." "You trapped my vehicle." "Nope. You parked in my livestock enclosure. The gate was open when you arrived." She fumbled with the latch, but couldn't get through because 2 sheep were leaning on it. She screamed again. "This is illegal. I'm calling animal control. I'm calling the county." Here comes twist number 2. "I'm the county," I said, "at least for livestock zoning. I'm the senior AG consultant for the region. And guess what? I have full rights to designate temporary holding enclosures on my own property as long as it doesn't violate health code." Karen froze. Her face turned pale, then purple, then something between the two. "You're lying." I pulled out my county badge and handed her a copy of the zoning map highlighted and signed. "Not lying, but you are, and you've been trespassing for months." Karen stood there stammering, sweat streaking down her powdered face, sheep fluff caught in her sandals. She tried to yank the gate again, but the latch stuck thanks to a curious lamb rubbing its horns on the hinge. "You set me up," she yelled, flailing at the fence. "You can't imprison a person's vehicle with barn animals." I kept my voice calm. No one imprisoned anything. You parked where I house livestock. It's a working enclosure now, and you're on private property. Again, that's when animal control showed up. Karen must have actually dialed them, expecting backup. Instead, they found me, standing by a perfectly legal livestock pen with registration on file, proper fencing, and even feed logs posted on the inside gate. The officer, a ranch-raised woman named Denise, chuckled as she assessed the scene. She parked in a livestock enclosure? Denise asked. I nodded. Third time this week. I finally decided to make it useful. Karen threw her hands in the air. This is harassment. He did this to trap me. He planned it. Denise raised an eyebrow. Ma'am, you entered a fenced area without permission and left your vehicle in a working livestock pen. That's trespassing on agricultural property. Not to mention you've created a potential biosecurity issue for his herd. Karen blinked. Bio what? Your car can carry contaminants, weeds, oils, Denise said. If even one sheep gets sick, this man has a case for damages. Karen turned to me. You wouldn't. I looked her dead in the eye. You're lucky I'm not charging you for hoof care. They've been walking around your tires for an hour. The officer pulled out her citation pad. Karen's voice pitched higher. You're siding with him? I'm the HOA president. This driveway is adjacent to a public visibility corridor. It affects neighborhood optics. That was the moment Denise looked up and said, Ma'am, this isn't even in the HOA's jurisdiction. Then she handed Karen a $450 trespass violation and asked her to move the vehicle immediately or she'd be towed under agricultural code. Karen stormed into the pen, pushing past the sheep like a pinball machine in a wool sweater. The moment she got in her SUV and turned the ignition, a lamb climbed on the hood. She screamed. I laughed. The neighborhood? They heard about it. Oh, they heard. I didn't even have to spread the story. Karen did it for me, telling everyone how I trapped her like some mad shepherd with a vendetta. But something shifted after that. Neighbors started approaching me, quietly at first. I've been meaning to ask, how do we remove someone from an HOA board? Because here comes the best part. Karen's HOA was never legal. Her committee wasn't recognized by the county, and her claim of expansion into the ranch corridor? Total fabrication. All it took was one public meeting and one brave neighbor bill. The accountant on Lot 4 showing the original covenants to the town clerk to void her entire charter. Turns out, Karen had been using a decade-old neighborhood watch group's bylaws, edited with whiteout and reprinted as HOA documents. She'd fined people, harassed kids, and written warnings on fake letterhead for years. The town revoked all HOA power immediately. Karen was fined $2,000 for unauthorized legal representation, $1,500 for code fraud, and was barred from forming or joining any HOA or civic group in the county for 10 years. She tried to appeal. The court laughed her out. She tried to form a new neighborhood council. Nobody joined. She eventually put her house up for sale quietly, this time. Moved 2 counties over. And the sheep? Oh, they got the last laugh. The image of that lamb on her hood went viral after someone posted it to Facebook with the caption, When Karen meets karma, and it has hooves. Now the old driveway gate has a permanent plaque on it. Jackson carved it for me. It reads, Karen's parking spot now zoned for sheep only. So let me ask you, true or false? If you park on someone's private driveway every day, you get to call it yours? The end.